Just like other arts must be practiced to be appreciated. Alexander Alekhine. Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I would like to share with you a beautiful attacking game played by the 4th world chess champion Alexander Alekhine. His opponent is Barbosa de Oliveira, and this game was played in 1939. This was a clock simul, and Alekhine started the game with d4. Barbosa de Oliveira responded with knight f6 and with knight f3, g6, c4, bishop g7, knight c3, d5. Black goes for Grunfeld defense, and we have queen b3. Alekhine is choosing the Russian variation, d takes c4, queen takes c4, c6, e4, and knight d7. Not a good move. Instead of knight d7, it was better to castle king's side, and knight e5, then black can play knight d5. The knight is not on d7 and black won't lose a pawn, but in our game after e4 we have knight d7, and after e5 already black is facing serious problems. Here Barbosa played knight b6, which allows white to unleash a dangerous combination. Instead of knight b6, it was better to play knight d5 and give away a pawn and then castle kingside, although yes, after winning a pawn white stands much better, or after e5 if you move like knight g4, then after h3 knight h6. White can simply develop his bishop, and yes, again black is in trouble. How is black going to activate this knight? At any moment knight f5 can be met with g4, and again black is facing serious problems. In our game after e5 we have knight b6, and in here Alekhine made a fantastic decision. Believe it or not, but instead of moving away his queen, he sacrificed it and captured on f6. Black accepted the queen's sacrifice, and we have f takes g7, rook g8, and bishop takes c4. Rook takes g7. If we have a look at the board, against the queen and a pawn, white got 3 pieces, which actually gives white advantage because the pieces will soon start cooperating together successfully and will create problems for black. Here Alekhine developed his dark squared bishop with the tempo, and after rook g8 we have knight e5, although knight g5 could have been stronger in order to keep this e file open for the rooks. But in our game we have knight e5, and after e6 we have castling queenside. f6, right now the knight on e5 is hanging, but this time Alekhine played knight d4. Look at this fantastic move, guys. Yes, the knight is untouchable because this can allow white to gain a huge advantage. White can first play bishop g5. If queen b6, then d takes e5 is coming, and if rook f8, preventing any possible knight f6 check, then this time knight d6 check is coming, and then knight takes c8. If king takes c8, then bishop takes e6 check, and then bishop e7 is coming, and if I move like rook c8, then rook e1, and after a5, yes, finally white can win this rook and then can make use of this powerful passed pawn on e6 square. This should be winning for white. In our game after knight e4, black played g5, and this time we have f4. Yes, white wants to create more weaknesses in black's king side. G takes f4 was played, bishop takes f4, queen e7, and finally in here Alekhine moved back his knight on d3. All this time black was not daring to accept the sacrifice. b6, finally black wants to solve the development of his queenside bishop with rook f1. White wants to win this pawn on f6. That's why rook g6 was played. This time we have h4, h5, and bishop d6, queen g7, knight f4. Look at this, guys. The way white minor pieces are cooperating together is simply astounding. Queen h6 was played with rook d2, the knight was pinned, rook g4, and a beautiful tactical shot by Alekhine, knight takes h5. The knight is untouchable because of this deadly fork. In our game after knight takes h5, black played rook takes g2 and knight takes f6 check. King d8, this time we have knight g5, The threat is knight f7 checkmate. For example, if rook takes d2, then knight f7 checkmate is coming, a very brutal mate. That's why black gave away his rook and captured on g5, and we have h takes g5, queen takes g5, king b1. White is unpinning the rook and is sacrificing it, but the rook is untouchable because of this rook h1, and black king will get checkmated. After king b1, black played e5, opened up the bishop's diagonal, and now white has to be careful. For example, if d takes e5, then white can lose his rook, and if rook h1, then black can play bishop h3. Of course, you can't win this bishop because of this checkmate. That's why after e5, Alekhine played rook f2, moved away his rook, and after queen g6 check, played king a1, bishop h3. This time we have rook e1. The rook was hanging, b5, and rook takes e5. And after b takes c4, Alekhine announced a check from e8 and forced black to give away his queen. And after several exchanges on e8, we have rook f8 check, and black is also losing his rook. And then the pawn on a7. Yes, this is a total destruction. And after rook h7, bishop c8, rook h4, finally black resigned. A very beautiful game, guys. The way Alekhine sacrificed his queen and then started to make use of his minor pieces was simply astounding. In the end, I would like to ask you to solve this beautiful chess puzzle. Please take a look at the position and try to find mate in 4. I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. If you like this game, give the thumbs up. For more games, consider subscribing to my channel. Also, press the bell button to get notified about new uploads. I will see you in my next video. Take care.